welcome back to my channel. So tonight we're going to be doing a Valentine's Day wreath. So this is what it's going to look like with different embellishments, but this is my wreath. I made the sign, I only have eyes for you. This is very inexpensive. The frame is from the Dollar Tree, the glasses are from the Dollar Tree, the mesh is from the Dollar Tree. Again, I made this out of just a piece of like foam board, also from the Dollar Tree. You can get this stuff anywhere, but that's where I got it. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do, but I'm gonna do it with a little bit different frame, because everybody's probably familiar with these wire frames. I started seeing them last year. I actually made a couple of these last year, but you know, anything that gets popular gets hard to find, right? So these sell out a lot of times and people are having a hard time finding them, so I thought that I would use something as an alternative to the wire frame. This is a little sturdier, but I found these plastic heart wreaths that were covered with this. It's just like a garland, like almost a Christmas garland, but it's got these cute hearts, and you can see that I actually saved it. I took it off a little bit carefully so I could save it, and I wound it around the mesh. So you're probably going to want to save it if you want to do that. So you find the beginning just like you're unwrapping thread, right? And then you're just going to unwind it. Super easy to get off. They have these little nubs, and they just put the little wired garland around the little nubs. So you take that off, and you're going to put it off and keep it aside for later. And so this is what you're going to be working with. This is going to be your frame. It is plastic, so it's not super hardy, but it works really well. And then you're going to need 2 of these 6" by 5 yard mesh tubes from Dollar Tree as well. You can get this from Hobby Lobby, you can get it from Michael's. The dimensions are probably going to be different. This is a pretty open mesh, so you'll find that some of the sort of higher quality meshes, Hobby Lobby has some, Paper Mart has some, people get them a lot of different places, have a tighter weave, and so that the frame isn't going to show through as much with those. So that's something to keep in mind. So you're also going to need these cable ties, right? So zip ties, and you can get those at the Dollar Tree too. They're usually kept in like the auto department or wherever they might have some of your tools and stuff. But I found these in the auto department this time. So for the red one, I used red ones. If you get the multicolored packets, you're going to need 2 multicolored packets to get enough of the red zip ties to use for the red mesh, and I recommend it if you do that because they don't show as much. Okay, but obviously I have the white because I'm doing the white mesh. It's super easy to start. You just unroll a good amount and gather it up between your hands. And we're going to do 6" poofs. This will be the poof method. That's how I got that. So you're going to, it doesn't really matter where you start. You're just going to start, go all the way around and come back. So you're going to put it through. They're both the same. It's exactly identical, but let's call this the back. You're going to put it through to the back. And then you're going to use a zip tie. And one thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want your zip ties pointing towards the inside of your frame. Hi, dog. So that you don't have them showing so much. Okay, so you're going to put it around this little piece of mesh. I'm making this look so much harder than it is. Anyway, okay, so make sure you don't have your zip tie upside down or it'll slip through and it won't catch the teeth. So just zip it down nice and tight. And when you're all done, you can do it as you go, or when you're all done, you can cut these excess tails. And I usually just wait and do them all at the end. Okay, so then you're going to use a ruler. Start at the pinch, or the zip tie, and you're going to measure 6 inches. Okay, 6 inches. All right. And then we're going to bring it to, you see the little nubs? I just used the nubs, these little nubs that the garland was put around. That's where I measured each one. Each one I would put the little poof there and then get another zip tie. Okay. And you're just going to simply attach it the same way. So put it through to the end, the back, so that it points towards the inside of the wreath. And you got your first little poof there, okay? We're gonna do it again. Take your measurement. As you do these, they just go faster and faster. It's not, doesn't take too long. Okay, so we're gonna do 6 inches to the next nub. Excuse my, this is for me, so nobody's gonna get my spit. Sorry, guys. Back through and pull tight. Okay, let's do one more time. So again, you're just gonna put it right on the zip tie so you can measure your 6 inches. Just keep them consistent. I like the 6 inches on this one. The frame is a little bit smaller than the wire frame. So I just liked it, the look of it with a little bit smaller poof. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, see, put it upside down. Won't catch the teeth. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue this. I'm gonna put y'all on pause, and I'm going to finish doing this outside row, and then I'll show you how to do the inside row. I'm gonna have a little taste of my wine. Clos du Bois Merlot. Pretty good, pretty good. Okay. So join me back here in a few minutes. Don't drink too much wine before you get finished with this, or you're gonna mess it up. All right, I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Welcome back. So I have the outer done. I'm not gonna make you sit through all the inner, but I did want to show you how to transition from the outer rail to the inner rail, and it's really simple. So I ended up starting at the bottom of the heart, so I'm ending up at the bottom. So we're gonna take a little section. We don't want to waste any more than we have to. We're not going to do a poof from here to here. It'll be odd shape in the middle. We're going to pull this nice and tight up to the inner rail. Can you see that? Just nice and tight up to the inner rail. You get one of the zip ties. Okay. Again, going to the back. So now we're going to actually flip the zip tie so that we're still having the little tails go to the inside of the rail, so that on either side you're not going to see them poking out. Easier for them to be hidden. Okay, so nice and tight, and then just pull that nice and snug. And then, see, you're not really going to see a lot of that. Measure your next 6-inch poof. And just another little aside, on the red wreath that I did, I had enough that I didn't have to start a new, one of the rolls of mesh until the inner. And had a little bit less mesh on this one. So that's pretty, you know, it's typical. There's not always exact measurements on the yardage. Okay, but it'll still go all the way around, which is the 2. All right, so I'm measuring my 6 inches again. Okay. Pinch the tool together, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to this second one. If I put one, no, I'll just do that's going to be really close together. So yeah, I'm going to skip this first one. See this first one? It's so close to where this is. I'm going to go ahead and go to this one. So you're going to hold it, pinch it. I like to skip to just turn it over to the back. I only put my hand under here so you can see better. Can you see that? So this is the same as with the outer ring, but this is a good close-up for you. Around and through your little zip tie head, and then nice and as tight as you can get it, right? Hope I'm not making anybody dizzy. All right, so once again, we'll do one more, and then I'll pause and finish this part up. So you're gonna measure from the zip tie 6 inches of tulle, or mesh rather, not tulle. Pinch it together, and I'm not gonna skip this time. I'm gonna go to the very next little nub and get a zip tie to the back. And around and through. Alrighty, so back to the pause so you don't have to see all of this all the way around, and I'll be back with you in a couple minutes. I'm back! Okay, so I finished going all the way around the outside and the inside. So this is just the last finishing. I put a zip tie to secure the last poof, and I'm just going to cut this short. That out of the way. I already went around and cut all the little zip ties. Missed one. He was going the wrong way, that's why. So you just cut those. I will give you a little bit of amendment to my advice earlier. When you come into these areas where it bends in and gets crowded, the other zip ties that were already tied and in there can kind of get in the way. So you might want to go ahead and trim those actually as you go. Then the longer areas, where they're a little bit further apart, you can go ahead and leave those. And then also, I did end up skipping a couple, so I did in between every single peg up the sides, but around the curves it got a little crowded, and in the bow of the the inside of the heart. So I ended up skipping here and skipping here, and then also right down at the bottom I skipped one because it was getting crowded. Okay, so this is what the basic finished product here looks like, and you can embellish this with ribbons. You can get thicker ribbons and cut them and have them come out like a typical poof wreath. You've seen the circles. You can do the smaller ribbon if you want. These are obviously a smaller size. I'm going to go ahead and wind this garland that I saved, as I said before, from the beginning. So I'm just going to tuck it. I'm just going to tuck it around, and it's wired. So I think I'll just give it a couple of wraps around itself. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to weave it through real randomly. So this will do a couple of things. It puts a little more interest in the wreath, but it also will help cover up some of the frame underneath, because this is a fairly see-through mesh. Like I was saying earlier, you can really see through it. So again, be pretty random. You can come back and do a little arrangement or changing it up a little bit if you find that you've got it too crowded on one side and run out. On the other hand, if you end up having, you know, more and going, oh, I wasn't generous enough over there, you know, just shift it a little bit. So because these are smaller, I kind of like to keep the less embellishments on them. I don't want it to be too busy. But you do your thing. If you want it to have a lot on there, bling it out, by all means, put a lot in there. Put florals in there. More ribbons, like I said. My dog's going crazy over here. What are you doing? I love my dog. Anyway, I try to keep this as stress-free as possible. Crafting, I do crafting to de-stress and to chill. My job is I love my job, but it's pretty stressful. And people have asked me, why don't you like sell some of these? They're really cute, you could sell them. Well, you know, once you take something, I know a lot of people do sell their crafting and do wonderful work, but once you take something and you start charging for it, then it stops being just for fun and something you can de-stress and becomes something that you have to worry about. Are they gonna like it? Are they gonna want to return it? Is it gonna be good enough? And I am not ready to put stress in my life, so y'all go ahead and sell your stuff. But for me right now, it's really just an opportunity for me to de-stress and not have drama. So I don't want to invite more drama. So when you get to the end of the little thing here, I guess I spaced it out pretty well, just pull it in. And again, it's wired, so you can tuck it around and wrap it back to itself. Or just wrap it around one of these little pegs, is how they had it on in the first place. Okay, so I think these are cute with the little hearts just sticking out a little bit. Isn't that cute? Okay, so next I am going to, these actually come with this little circle for hanging on, right? So I found these old cookie cutters though. I don't know where I got these, doesn't matter. But I'm going to elongate my hanging possibilities by just tying this ribbon through the cookie cutter. These cookie cutters have this nice little flat part too, so that's pretty cool. just happen to be what they are. Doesn't matter, it's gonna not show. Some people really don't like the backs of their wreaths to be messy. They're pretty, you know, concerned about how they look. If you don't want these to show all these little cut off zip ties, you can cut a piece of felt and just hot glue it right on. I don't care. Again, I'm not selling it, so okay. So we keep that knot over there. So you know, when I hang it, I can hang that from a traditional wreath hanger. I can hang it from, you know, a nail, whatever, but I have a little more space. I just think it looks kind of cute. And then I might take this rose, and I'm just gonna stick it in for now, but I would probably go ahead and use a little hot glue later to make sure that it doesn't come out. It's pretty big, so I'd want to stuff it in pretty well. So again, I would use a little bit of hot glue to make sure that stays. I do not want to put a bow on it. I'm keeping it pretty simple, but that is the finished product. Okay, you can put a sign on this. You can, you know, like I did on the one up there. You put more embellishments if you want, but I like it just the way it is. I think this one looks pretty good like this. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, it'd be really nice if you could click the like button down below. This whole wreath cost me, let's see, $1, $2, $3 for the wreath itself. This was from Michael's, this rose, but it came in a bunch. I don't remember how much they were, but I'm sure I got them on clearance or on sale after the holiday. And there were like 5 of them in there. And then these cookie cutters, I mean, you know, you can pick these up secondhand stores. I just happen to have these, and I don't do a lot of cookie baking at Valentine's anymore. Sorry, kids. So since I had it, I went ahead and put it on, and you can always take it back off and reuse it later if you want to. But anyway, there it is. Yay, Valentine's wreath. So I will be back to do some more stuff later. If there's anything that you guys want to see a tutorial on, or you're interested in learning how to do, I would certainly be willing to see if I can figure it out. Otherwise, I will be back with some more stuff later on. Maybe some St. Patrick's Day. I haven't decided yet. Probably some Easter. All right, you guys, cheers. Happy crafting, and I will see you back on my channel pretty soon. Good night.